Tonight, a violent brawl inside a Broken Hill pub has prompted stern warnings from local police. And West Coasters outraged after 26 graves were vandalised at the Talia Cemetery.
This is Southern Cross News with Abby Donaldson.
Good evening. A violent brawl inside a Broken Hill pub has prompted stern warnings from local police. 2 officers were assaulted as a result of the Friday night incident. Patrick Reinke has the details.
Broken Hill police say as the warmer weather approaches, people need to behave themselves while out and about. Friday night's brawl at a licensed premises here on Beryl Street is something they don't want to see again. It's understood the fight happened just after midnight. Police were investigating a noise complaint at the time when a fracas broke out between a number of people. One officer was reportedly assaulted trying to break up the brawl. The man allegedly responsible is set to face court. The licensee then decided to voluntarily close the pub following the fight. While police were escorting the 100 or so people out, one woman allegedly refused to leave, threw her drink over an officer and pushed him in the chest. She's facing court on a number of charges. Police say that type of behaviour is unacceptable and they just hope everyone can have a fun time, but more importantly, a safe time.
Go out, have a good time. If you have too much and you think it's time to go, make that decision for yourself. But if the staff or security tell you to go, you have to go. If you don't, you face either a $550 fine or potentially going to court and being charged with matters about failing to quit. Thankfully, the officers involved in stopping the fight didn't receive any serious injuries.
SA Police returned to an area west of Kimba today to search for missing father of 2, Scott Redman. Detectives are now convinced the 19-year-old was murdered and his disappearance has been declared a major crime. Mr Redman vanished in April after a vehicle he was travelling in was involved in a brief police pursuit along the Air Highway before being dumped near Kimba. A shocking trail of destruction has been discovered at the Talia Cemetery near the coastal town of Elliston on the west coast. Family members and local residents have been left devastated at the horrific damage caused to 26 graves and headstones. It's been described as a malicious and senseless crime, and the local council are working hard to get in touch with the family members.
We're extremely disappointed because nothing like this ever sort of happens over this way, and a lot of our grave sites have our early pioneers in them, and which is a lot of the early family history attached to the area.
Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. Today is World Mental Health Day, and it's a reminder to check in on yourself and your loved ones. Support groups got together in Port Pirie, shining a light on mental illness and encouraging people to seek help.
1 in 5 Australians suffer from a mental illness, and for those in regional areas, the figure is much higher.
It should be equally easy to access mental health services wherever you are in the country. But we know in reality that there are less mental health services in rural and remote and very remote areas.
Despite the logistical issues of operating healthcare services across the mid-north, a number of providers have risen to the challenge. The group, Country and Outback Health, are using World Mental Health Day as a platform to better acquaint people with their services.
New technology around telelinks, so basically where you can have someone on a screen and you can have that psychological counselling.
A large number of people won't seek to access help before it's too late, and are often too scared to reach for help within their own community. World Mental Health Day is all about tearing down that stigma and helping people feel more comfortable about voicing their problems.
To necessarily be a mental health orientated solution, it can just be you catching up with a few friends, a few suggestions about the change of your lifestyles.
If you or someone you know needs help, call Lifeline on 131114 or try out the new Lifeline text service on 0477 13 11 14. Dominic Beaton, Southern Cross News.
Whyala's new $3 million On the Run officially opened today, bringing favourites like Subway and Sea Coffee to the Steel City. The new store is also one of only 6 regional sites to serve Krispy Kreme donuts.
OTR has over 140 stores statewide and now can add another wireless site to its list. Its $3 million complex opened for business today, creating 40 jobs for the city.
We always try to maximise the opportunity to ensure it's the right place and the right time for the community, and we feel this is a great spot.
Situated on the corner of the Lincoln Highway, it'll secure some of the lucrative drive-through customers looking to fill up. But it's more than just a pit stop, with plenty available for drivers to refuel themselves. There's a drive-through Subway, Moe's Shaken Dogs, along with Sea Coffee. But the big coup is Krispy Kreme donuts, with Wyler just one of a handful of regional sites home to them.
These types of offers coming to town are always exciting and new, and we can't wait to open them.
And they celebrated with a hot dog eating competition. Damien Smith downed 5 dogs in 10 minutes, winning a year's supply in the process. He says he's impressed with the new store.
It's very clean, and it's good that they're stocking a lot of South Australian products, which is the main thing we've got to keep on doing.
The largest private employee in South Australia with over 4,000 people in South Australia, so we want to continue to invest in local jobs.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Looks great. Still to come tonight, we meet a group of arty women from Port Augusta making the most of their Wednesday nights. And forget the big banana, the mid-north town of Orroroo is anticipating the arrival of the big wool press. Hello again. Well, volunteers from the Great Tracks cleanup crew have collected around 44 tonnes of waste in their annual trip to the far north. The Outback cleanup is now in its 11th year, with people even travelling from Queensland and Victoria to get involved.
Among the beautiful sights in the north of the state, you'd be surprised at the types of rubbish polluting the pristine country.
We got tyres, old metal, stock. We've got stuff, old caravans, trailers that have failed.
These were just some of the items that Greg Franklin and the Great Tracks cleanup crew have found on trips to the Outback. The initiative originated 11 years ago, after concerned members noticed high amounts of rubbish in the area.
That was the actually most disheartening thing we could see, how there appeared to be so much on the side of the road, and it's so unsightly.
25 crew members attended this year's trip and collected around 44 tonnes of trash, ranging from things like bottles and cans to much bigger items like tyres and even a toilet seat.
If we don't clean an area in 1 year, we don't go and do it, I should say, we find that the build-up has increased.
A truckload of trash is then processed and transported to the nearest dump or recyclers.
Got people on board that can cut it up safely, and we cart it away.
While the volunteer cleanup crew is saddened by the amount of people discarding their garbage, they say they take great pleasure in doing their bit for the environment.
It's like a group of people cleaning up Australia, doing something good, but enjoying it at the same time.
Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
What a great initiative. Meantime, artists from Port Augusta's Painted on Wednesdays are fine-tuning preparations ahead of their first ever art exhibition. The creations are a collection of over a year's worth of weekly nighttime painting sessions.
The group has been running for over 5 years, but this is the first time the Painted on Wednesdays artists will be showing off their work to the world.
It's kind of magic, really. You know, all of a sudden it's there and it looks okay.
The different creations are the culmination of a year's work for the nighttime group, which fluctuates between 5 and 10 members per week.
The other groups meet during the day, on Thursdays and Fridays, and some of us have daytime commitments, so we get together on Wednesday nights.
The exhibition will have everything from intricate paintings to drawings of animals and basket work. But the artists say the fellowship of the predominantly female group is just as important as what's on the wall.
They encourage you with your work and they give you ideas.
Well, probably we wouldn't paint as much or as often or at all if we didn't have the encouragement and support.
And although many are nervous for tonight's opening, they're eager to show off the finished product, all in a Wednesday night's work.
Very, very exciting because most of these people, this is the first time they've had an exhibition.
Garth Burley, Southern Cross News.
The Port Lincoln community is looking to celebrate the best of local business. With nominations flooding in for the Business Excellence Awards, organisers say it's reflective of a strong economy.
An exciting opportunity for the community to celebrate the strength of Port Lincoln's new and established businesses.
It's an opportunity for businesses to really celebrate their wins, like we don't do that very often as business owners.
While nominations only opened last week, 40 businesses have already been put forward, suggesting a positive boom in the local economy.
That's what's really exciting to see about how business is actually growing here. We're seeing those new businesses take off, and people are nominating them, so it's very positive.
For young business owner Paige Swalu, it was a huge shock to be nominated after just 1 year since opening.
It was a bit of a shock to the system, but I'm pretty stoked to know that all my hard work and passion for the business is being noticed.
There are 6 categories that form the awards: business excellence, tourism excellence, new business, customer service, young business person and community service.
Nominations and the submissions close on the 31st of October. So if you want to give your favourite business time to actually do their submission, it needs to be done ASAP.
The awards night will be held here at the Port Lincoln Hotel on November 24, and you can check out the Port Lincoln Chamber of Commerce website for further information. Casey Trelaw, Southern Cross News.
Well, forget the big banana. The mid-north town of Orroroo is anticipating the arrival of the big wool press. The locally sourced historical artefact will be put on display in the town centre.
Once left in a shed to decay, now restored and soon to be immortalised. This mechanical wool press has been on a sheep station outside of Orroroo for more than a century. After it managed to outlive the shed housing, local farmers decided it was time the contraption got a facelift.
A couple of years ago the roof blew off and exposed the press to the elements, so we knew we had to get it out of there to renovate it.
Dean has spent a back-breaking amount of hours remaking old components from scratch to get it back to its former glory.
Good condition in some ways, but it really took a lot of work it was about 360 hours of work from pulling to the bits to get it back to the stage that it is now.
And this historical machine has certainly lived a big life.
This press has been part of the folklore of Black Rock since I was a kid. My father and grandfather used to talk about Black Rock Station and the old press that was in the wool shed, and I can remember going out there when I was a very little kid and having a look at it.
It's believed to have come from the United Kingdom, but the mystery still remains about who built it and when. A Victorian museum has expressed interest in purchasing it and believe that it is the only one in existence. But both Dean and the community of Orroroo are head set on the press remaining in the region. Dominic Beaton, Southern Cross News.
So much history there. Well, stay with us after the break. We meet a young soccer talent making Whyalla proud. And in the weather, nothing but sunshine to end the week. I'll have all the local weather details next. Welcome back. Whyalla has a new soccer superstar in the making. Bailey Biedenwig was named Player of the Tournament at a junior carnival in Brisbane and followed that up by winning the State League's Best and Fairest.
Since he was a young boy, Bailey Biedenwig has been soccer crazy. From his beginnings with his cousin and grandpa in the back garden, he's now kicking goals against the state's best.
I think it was just growing up within a soccer family, and power was a huge influence on it, and so was Dad.
Port Pirie's Northern Demons recruited Bailey from Lions at a young age. 2018 has been a breakout year, including winning 5 awards representing SA at the National Christian Football Tournament.
They're very physical, fast, very tactical players, but it was a great experience against them.
And he's also the State League's best junior player. He was crowned Under-18 Player of the Year on Saturday, beating over 200 other players. It's all the more remarkable considering he was aged just 15 for most of the season.
I was happy to be in the top 5 in there, but I didn't think I was going to win it, but very grateful that I did.
For now, he's going to keep his skills and fitness up across the off-season, and then he returns to Port Pirie as he tries to score a professional contract.
Just keep fit, keep training with the dad, hopefully one day play for Adelaide United.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Keep kicking goals, Bailey. Well, time now for Fuel Watch. Here's Pat.
Well, it's been an absolute horrid week at the Bowser, from here in Broken Hill all the way down to Adelaide. Starting with unleaded, and not a single township saw any green. Majority of the Spencer Gulf is now into the $1.60 range. Port Lincoln is at $1.61, Whyalla and Port Augusta have both hit $1.63. Port Pirie has climbed by 4 cents to average around $1.56. Kadina saw a 3 cent spike and is also around that mark. Here in Broken Hill, we're paying a fair bit to fill up, but remarkably, Adelaide is the most expensive on the board, averaging $1.64 a litre. To diesel now, and there's still bad news. Almost everyone is at $1.60 or over, except Port Lincoln and the state capital. Port Pirie has had a terrible few days. The price there has jumped by about 8 cents and now hovers at around $1.62, the same as Whyalla. Port Augusta is paying the most in the Gulf at around $1.64, while Kadina is the cheapest by about 4 cents. Meanwhile, it's not a good time to be here in Broken Hill. We're paying around $1.65. Now remember, these prices are the regional averages and they do not reflect any one particular outlet. If you do find a spot that does sell unleaded or diesel for cheaper, let us know on our Facebook page.
Thanks, Pat. Now to the weather. But first, thanks to Jeff Hardiman for sending in this great shot of the full moon over Whyalla. This shot was taken over 380,000 kilometres away at Telstra Hill. Amazing detail. Thanks, Jeff. Well, we saw fine conditions for most centres today with a fair bit of cloud cover about. Port Augusta reached a top of 22 degrees. It was a dreary, cloudy day in Port Lincoln and Broken Hill, 18 the top there. Taking a look at the satellite, and thick cloud lingering over southeastern SA with a low and trough is generating some showers and thunderstorms. Skies are clearer elsewhere under the influence of high pressure. And here's what the waters are looking like for tomorrow. Southwesterly winds up to 20 knots, seas at 2 metres. Sunrise is at 6:45 and sunset is at 7:28. Lovely fine conditions tomorrow, warming up too. Whyalla and Broken Hill will reach a top of 22 degrees. Port Augusta 25 the top. And these pleasant temps are going to hang around for Friday. Woodna in store for a 30-degree day to end the week. The chance of a shower here and there on Saturday and Sunday for Port Lincoln, 25 the top. Gorgeous conditions over the coming days here too. Whyalla heading for a top of 29 degrees by Sunday. Port Augusta will see temps soar into the 30s for the weekend with the odd shower on Sunday. Kadina 28 the top with a shower here and there. And lastly, cloud will clear for a lovely end to the working week. Port Pirie 22 on Friday, sunny, and 26 the top for Saturday and 29 for Sunday. Clare temps will sit in the mid-20s for you over the coming days with a possible shower on Sunday as well. And the mercury is set to rise into the 30s for Broken Hill over the weekend. So lovely conditions, but let's hope we see some more rain soon. And that's all from the team. Thanks for your company. Good night.